Happy Sunday night, everybody. The digital mothership has connected. Welcome aboard. Thanks so much for being with us once again. I can guarantee you tonight's show is truly live. So that's why I encourage you to jump into the comment section right away, get interactive, get initiated, get part of the action, because we've got a lot going on tonight. Coming up, my friend Dani Wexelman is going to join us. Tonight is the Major League Baseball amateur draft. In fact, it's starting up kind of as we speak. Dani's going to join us coming up in about 15 minutes from now. She's at a place called Cowtown or Rodeo Town or something like that. I'm not sure, but Major League Baseball's draft is now attached at the hip with the All-Star break. They're in Texas, so it's going to be some type of rodeo concept around the draft. Hey, a year ago was Paul Skenes' night. Who's going to be tonight? We'll talk to Dani about that. First half surprises and the summer of Skenes coming up here on the show in about 15 minutes from now. So stick around for that. Dani's amazing. Can't wait to see her. Also, it's a last dive bar giveaway kind of night. Last week, we couldn't do it because there were parts of the show that were pre-recorded in tapes. We couldn't get live reaction from you guys at the Q&DA to give away stuff. Tonight, we can. We are back, 100% back, and better than ever. Stamp that seal of approval on that side of beef. We're here, which means, TA, how do I win last dive bar stuff? Like, I don't know, this? Yeah. We got last dive bar pint glasses for the summer. These guys have everything. Make sure you're chatting. Q&DA's coming up later on in the show. We'll give away some last dive bar gear through that. Also, get your golden grams in. That means tweet at me or post at Instagram and tag me in what you got cooking as you watch tonight's show. Could be on the big screen, smart TV. Could be on your phone. Could be on your laptop or your tablet. However it is that you experience Watch DA Live on Sundays, just take a photo of it and either tag me on Instagram at Damon Amendo. Tag me or at me on Twitter at Damon Amendo. That's easy. Or send it via email, watchdalive@gmail.com. We'll sift through them and give away last dive bar cool stuff by the end of this show. How about that? All right. That's all going on tonight. Plus, we've got two new bits, if you will, coming up later on in the show. The creative juices were flowing this week, and so we are going to celebrate something in a very DA way, and we've got a very DA-savvy parody coming up here later on to the show. You A's fans want to stick around for that. Let's kick things off with the Furious Five. Boom! And the Furious Five begins with the Summer of Skenes. I've been talking a lot about Paul Skenes on my Sirius XM show, weekday mornings on Channel 82. And I'm telling you, I'm so happy that baseball's got this. And I've talked about this often. And my guess is that there are a number of you that probably fall into the same general age group as me. I'm 45. But if you were a baseball fan as a kid, maybe in the 70s, the 80s as I were, the 90s, there were really splashy characters, superstars, buzzworthy summers that kind of captivated you. And I think baseball's lacked that for a long time. And I think that's the way that you get a general American audience involved, in that you need events, you need to feel important, and you need something to feel different. And baseball tends to feel mundane because there's so many games and because the sports become so regionalized that people care about their team, but not a lot of other teams or other players, that you kind of need something to grab you by the neck if you're an American sports fan and say, hey, you got to watch this. And Skenes is that. And I think this is so cool for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think it's so cool because it's a great baseball town. I love when things happen like this in a place that will really appreciate it. You have to remember that Pittsburgh hasn't won a World Series since '79. but their legacy, their history as a baseball organization is as deep as anybody that can claim, World Series titles going all the way back. I mean, Mazeroski's home run in Game 7, 1960. You've got Roberto Clemente hitting exactly 3,000 hits before passing away on a charitable mission across seas, and he wins in 71. He is one of the greats of all time. They win with a really colorful, electric We Are Family 1979 Pittsburgh Pirates team. And then you have the great Killer Bees teams, Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, and then Andy Van Slyke and company in the late 80s, early 90s, 3 straight National League East championships. And then the Andrew McCutchen years a decade ago, where they would win 90 plus, 98 games one year, but couldn't make it out of the wild card. They have so much history there, and that ballpark's so amazing. It's really cool for this to happen at a place that can really appreciate a great baseball story. The second thing is that I think it's really compelling when it's a pitcher, because you're talking about domination of multiple batters every fifth night, so it builds up as an event. When you're a hitter, you only get 4 at-bats a game usually. And so you kind of have to plug in, plug out, watch every game at some point in time. But with a starting pitcher, you get to watch every 5 nights, which is almost like a weekly schedule. And I think that that's really cool about this as well. Add on top of it that his social media claps through the roof because of his girlfriend, Libby Dunn. I just think this is a really cool sports story. So the Summer of Skenes I'm all about. And I think that baseball's kind of been in desperate need for something that has connected the dots for a young generation. And he does that because of his girlfriend, because of his mustache, laugh if you will, because of his dominance, because of his electricity, because all those things kind of are captivating for young people. Plus he's young. I think it's awesome. So I did a deep dive on this earlier in the week. If you want to check that out on this YouTube channel, just go to the DA Deep Dives and you'll see it there. It's the most recent one. Furious 5, number two. Skenes ends up starting the All-Star game. And I was hesitant on this initially. I did not think that Skenes necessarily should have been the National League starter because it was such a small sample size, But I came around the last week and a half because I don't think there's any doubt he's the best pitcher of the National League right now. You'd be hard-pressed not to call him the best pitcher in Major League Baseball right now. And the fact that he came off of a near no-hitter, pulled after 7 no-hit innings and only 99 pitches the other day, suggests that he's figuring it out quicker than we could have ever imagined. And so it was kind of a statement. Hey, I want to start this game. My last start punctuated with a no-no. I mean, it's like, that's impossible to do, but he almost did it. And I think because of that gumption, because of that big moment ability, seemingly, I think you have to start him. And I, of course, am a traditionalist in many sports senses. And so I do believe in a certain, let's earn it. Let's not just give the flashy, hot thing, the flavor of the week, the big attention yet. But I believe he's deserving of it because with a 1.90 ERA and a 6-0 record and a guy that's got, 3 no decisions when he only gave up 1 earned run in 6 or more innings, the guy is the best pitcher of the National League. So even though it's a small sample size, he'd be there starting anyway if he would have just started the season on opening weekend. But he started May 11th. They called him up May 11th. And so he's only got, 11 starts. Had he had 15, 16 starts, like most of the pitchers that were going to qualify to start this game on Tuesday, he would have been it. I mean, he's not getting worse, that's for sure. So I think he deserves it. I think that's awesome. I think baseball has a moment here, the All-Star game. And I'm still nostalgic about the All-Star game, even though there's a lot of stuff that's changed for the worse in my estimation. I think it's a neat thing that he gets to start and have those first 3 batters minimum against the American League, and everybody kind of tunes in and flash bulbs are going off. I think that's really cool. I really do. I think that's really cool. It made me think about my favorite rookies of all time in Major League Baseball, this kind of like rookie phenomenon thing that baseball does so well. And they tend to be romantic about the summer. I'm a summer baby. My birthday's June 21st. the summer solstice. So my favorite time of the year is this time of year. I love lazy summer days. I love the heat. I love pools and lakes and ponds and fishing and going out with your friends and drive-in movie theaters and going to the beach and water and, sprinklers. That's just always been in my DNA. So there's a thing about baseball that it exists now, this time of year where you get to kind of be slowed down a little bit. There's exciting vacations to go on with your family or your friends or camps to be at, and you're hanging out. And I think baseball fits so kind of perfectly into that mix. And the All-Star game is a good barometer of, well, are you a sensation? Because usually sensations kind of take place by the All-Star game. And I think Skenes clearly qualifies. So I thought, who else qualifies for that rookie Mount Rushmore in Major League Baseball? Now, I'm only going to go back to when I was born, 1979, the last 45 years, because I can't really speak to Jackie Robinson so well. I mean, of course, I've watched and read a lot on him, but if I was just talking about the last 45 years or so, here's the guys that were wow to me, okay? Wow to me. Number one, Ichiro. I mean, Ichiro's rookie season. Now, it's not quite the same as others because, he was already, late 20s or so. But Ichiro hit 350 as a rookie in 2001. 350 as a rookie. He had 242 hits. 242. Imagine having 242 hits as a rookie. I know he wasn't a true early 20s rookie, but he also was an MVP. So Ichiro's 2001, a true rookie sensation. Also, Mike Trout. Trout's rookie season is ridiculous as well. Mike Trout had 30 home runs, had 49 stolen bases, had an OPS of 963 in 2012. And including his incredible defensive acumen in the outfield as well, many people say, at least by metrics, he had the best rookie season ever. And that was special. Trout's kind of fallen by the wayside. Now he's always injured, doesn't play for a winning team, barely ever has played in the postseason. So we don't really think of it. But, man, Mike Trout upon his debut was a wow. What the hell? What planet is this guy from? So he'd be my number two. My number three, we're going to take it back to 1987, okay? Big Mac, Mark McGwire. Now, do I know if he was taking steroids in 1987 or not? I have no idea. So maybe this is steroid-induced. I'm not sure. But I just remember as a kid seeing that tally of 49 home runs and 118 RBIs as a rookie and thinking, how is that possible? Because, back in 87, nobody hit 50 home runs. It wasn't like it is now. There was no steroid era yet. There wasn't the 90s yet, the early 2000s. Hitting 50 home runs was the domain of the Babes, the Roger Marises, the Mickey Mantles. I mean, nobody hit 50 home runs. Cecil Fielder did it, and people couldn't believe it. Eyes popped out of their heads. I remember people at school being like, did you see last night? Did you hear last night? Cecil Fielder hit 50 home runs. 50. He actually hit 51. So it was such a non-possibility back then in 87. So I just think 49 home runs, 118 RBIs as a rookie is just staggering. He's on my Mount Rushmore. And then my number 4 craziest rookie sensation is a pitcher, Dr. K. Doc Gooden in 1984. Gooden's 84. He wins 17 games, has 276 strikeouts, a rookie record, shatters the rookie record of 245 by 31 strikeouts, obliterated the single season rookie strikeout record by 31 strikeouts at a 2.60 ERA. By the way, mid-80s, pretty good offensive era to do it in. Doc Gooden's 84 is ridiculous. 85 is even better. But he was a rookie sensation where people said, oh, my God, that guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. Now, the other 3 guys, first 2, either in the Hall of Fame or will get in the Hall of Fame like Mike Trout. And then McGwire should have been in the Hall of Fame. And now Doc should have been in the Hall of Fame. Those are true rookie sensations. That's my list. If you've got ones that you love, ones that just made you stop and go, what the heck is going on? This is ridiculous. Like we're seeing from Paul Skenes this year, you can hit up that to the chat or the tweets or the Instagram messages as well, because we are giving away Last Dive Bar swag later on in the show. All right. So speaking of baseball, this kind of feels like a special baseball show. We're at the All-Star break here, and I just love our next guest. She has joined me throughout the years. If you've listened to me on CBS Sports Radio and now Sirius XM, you've heard her on my show. You've seen her in studio with me as well. She's phenomenal. She works for MLB Network Radio. She is in Texas for tonight's amateur Major League Baseball draft. Let's hear it for Dani Wexelman. Very honored for our next guest to join us here on Watch DA Live. This is awesome. Her maiden voyage aboard the digital mothership. She's going to be covering tonight's Major League Baseball amateur draft for MLB Network Radio. She's joined me on the radio a number of times as well, both on CBS Sports Radio and now on Sirius XM. The great Dani Wexelman. All right, let's hear it for Dani. I mean, number one, you look phenomenal for the draft coming up here. Your hair, your earrings, everything is working.
Yeah, you know what? It's my favorite event of the year. I prep and study and am gathering information all year long. It's my first chance, DA, to work the draft. And so I felt like I needed to dress to the nines. The guys and the families will be dressed to the nines. And so I want to mirror that energy. So we are looking good tonight. We have to put our best foot forward here.
You look phenomenal. How long does it take to do your hair that way? That's an extraordinary amount of time, I would imagine.
You know, I've got it down to a science. So I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to deter or scare people away from me, but I've got it down to a science. It's not as bad as you think it is, but I do have long hair, a lot of hair, but it's worth it. It's always worth it.
Oh, it looks tremendous. Okay. So you're going to match the energy, the look at the draft tonight. And the draft last year provided us one of the great modern stars of baseball. That's Paul Skenes, obviously, who's having himself a moment. It's amazing to think about him getting drafted last summer. So now tonight, is there a player in there, not that's going to be Skenes, but a player that can walk in and have an impact maybe next summer? Because part of the magic of Skenes is we'd have to wait a number of years to finally see him on a Major League diamond.
Yeah, there are a couple of guys. I don't know if anyone in this class will have the ascent that we saw from Paul Skenes. And I'll go back even two more, right? Nolan Shanaway with the Angels was called up almost a month after he was drafted 2 years ago. Zach Neto of the Angels as well. They have a propensity to do that. But I think that Chase Burns, he's a pitcher out of Wake Forest. He transferred from Tennessee. He's a two-pitch guy right now. He is so overpowering to hitters. He has 4 pitches. We only saw 2 of them this year. He went to Wake Forest, worked with Corey Mascara, the pitching coach there, a genius in their pitching lab. And so he's a guy maybe you could see called up. I'm curious to see if he's a starter or a reliever. If he's a reliever, I think his ascent is a little bit faster. For the offensive side of things, it could be maybe Charlie Condon or Jack Caglione, both college guys. Charlie from Georgia, he hit the most home runs this season in all of NCAA college baseball at the D1 level. Jack Caglione, who's the superstar two-way guy. I don't expect him to be a pitcher at the big league level, but those are the guys in the lineup you circle and say, we cannot let the ball leave the yard when they come up. And so I think that if they can hone in a little bit in their skills and find a way to strike out a little less and chase a little less, that they would have the chance to get called up sooner than later. If
you listen to me on Sirius XM on channel 82, just a couple of dial moves down is MLB Network Radio, where they're going to have, if you're a seam head, total coverage tonight of the Major League Baseball draft. And Dani Wexelman's going to be part of that coverage. So definitely tune in there for the thorough analysis of tonight's draft. So let's go back a year. I mean, no one could have known that Paul Skenes was going to do this, start the All-Star game a year after getting drafted. But he was coming out of an LSU program that's a dominant program at a national championship. So let's turn back the clock 1 year from now. Tell me what you thought about Skenes since he's the story today, and what you heard other people, baseball people, talk about Skenes when he was drafted last year.
I'm a pretty big fan of Paul Skenes. So I'll take you back a little bit farther too. When he was at Air Force, he was also a catcher. So this is a super athletic guy, right? Not the arm strength is there. I can't even believe a dude of his body height and stature was behind the plate catching. And so then he becomes a pitcher and realizes at Air Force, like, wait a second, maybe I can actually go play pro ball. Maybe I am good enough for that. And so he and his family make that decision. Coach Kaz knew that at Air Force it was coming. So he transferred to LSU, works with Wes Johnson. So when you work with Wes Johnson, you become this magical unicorn that Paul Skenes became. The work ethic is second to none. That's what most people talk about, is that his routine, how thorough he is. You've seen the videos of him working out and what it takes for him to warm up before a game. That's all regimented, right? This dude was in the Air Force. He has family military ties to that. And so that's a part of his whole life. That's not a new thing for him. That's what makes him different, is what he is doing in between his starts and the kind of person he is and how humble he is. You saw him on the Dan Patrick show, and he was kind of taken aback from the moment, being told that he was going to be the starting pitcher for the NL. And I think that really speaks to who Paul is. He's very calm, cool, collected. But I know that the work that this guy's put in is second to none. So what he's done now, it all adds up. It all makes sense to me because he puts his head down and he works. And the kid is relentless. He could throw a perfect game, DA, and I guarantee you he would say, I could have done this. I probably should have done that. I shouldn't have thrown this pitch during that count. That's the kind of guy that he is. Second to none, world-class person and pitcher. And so it is a little surprising, but if you add up all the things that he's done and where he's been, it makes a lot of sense to me.
He's so huge. He's got such an arm. He's thrown 77 pitches, I believe, of 100 miles an hour or more already this season, just 2 months of starting. So most of us think that he was just chiseled out of granite, walked out of, middle school and became the ace prospect of the country. But you're saying, no, he was not always a sure thing to become a big league ace, a big league pitcher. So he's done a lot of work to get here.
Yeah, well, Air Force was where he wanted to go. He realized that when he was younger because of his family ties to the military. And so it was important for him to go there. And he told us when he was just a sophomore, right, still at Air Force, that he really wanted to serve his country. And that was really important to him. But you could see that the numbers were starting to gain traction and that his name was starting to become a lot more common. And people started mumbling about him and wondering, wait a second, who's this guy Paul Skenes at Air Force? He was a catcher, now he's a pitcher, and he's there. Is he going to serve? What's he going to do? And then all of a sudden he goes in the transfer portal. And again, you work with Wes Johnson. That Splinker, that comes from Wes Johnson. Yohan Duran from the Twins, same thing. And so Wes Johnson came from the Twins, went to LSU. And for me, part of the difference maker for Paul Skenes and how he's taken his game from already A to A++. And I just think he's getting started, to be honest, DA. I think he's only scratching the surface of his greatness and how incredible he'll be. And the Pirates, I'm curious if the Pirates are going to try to lock him down, because to me, the track that he's on is potential future Hall of Famer, perennial all-star, and a guy who's going to be a household name. He is already, but the Skenes jerseys to me will maybe they'll rival Ohtani.
Yeah, this is outrageous, really, for 2 months in for him to be doing this. And then it brings us to his last start before the All-Star break, in which he nearly throws a complete no-hitter. He's taken out after 99 pitches in 7 innings, but he had the no going, and he seemed to be getting better as the night wore on. So I think it's pretty obvious, like, this guy's going to be unbelievable for a really long time. We asked this question on Friday. Is Skenes the guy that if you're going to buy a ticket to go watch a baseball game, to watch anybody in the league, is he already the guy that you'd have to put number one? I'm going to buy a ticket to watch that guy. This is a subjective question, so I just want to ask you, is he the ticket you would buy, or is there somebody else right now that's must-see box office for you?
Paul Skenes is must-see TV, appointment television. Go buy your ticket and go watch Paul Skenes pitch. I personally, DA, am trying to align my schedule after All-Star to make sure that I go see him pitch in Pittsburgh. Wow. I'm going to figure it out.
Oh,
and
cool.
I have been. Yeah, since I knew that he was going to debut. I thought about going to his debut. It didn't work out for my schedule. But listen, I got to see him in the College World Series. It was Skenes and Rhett Lauder. It was LSU and Wake Forest. Rhett Lauder, who's with the Reds. I just saw him here at the Futures game, who's going to be a rock star too. That was some of the best baseball and the best pitching performances I've ever seen in my life in the college game. It was exceptional. And that's where we're at. And that's where Paul Skenes is at. He is must-see TV. The way that he conducts himself, a little smirk on his face, maybe he impresses himself, but how he goes about his business, like, it's because he ascended so fast. And he was just in college. He was just in Baton Rouge, right? Being a college kid, but every fifth day taking the ball, and you knew that your chances of winning were pretty dang good when Paul Skenes takes the bump. But it's something that we don't see a lot in baseball. And so he's special, and he's rare, and he's being celebrated the way he should. And it should be the hottest ticket in town.
Yeah, he just keeps upping the bar for himself. And for baseball, do they need somebody that's this much of a needle mover? And they got him in a boatload way, because every start seems to be more awesome than the last. In terms of surprises, I want to know from you, because you watch the entire league all the time, what's your biggest surprises first half of the year? Really, it's more than half the games, but we'll call it the first half since we're at the break.
Also, I do, just for the record, DA, I watch other things, but not as much as I do watch baseball. Just
other
to put that out there.
Being what?
Well, I just started Ted Lasso.
So okay. Season 1?
Season 1. I think I'm like halfway through season 1. I also somehow jumped on the Love Island train during last weekend. I had 2 days off and a friend turned it on. So I'm invested in that, but that's neither here nor there. I am watching a lot of baseball because I want to, and I have to. It's always on in my apartment. And I have a couple of surprises. It's, you know what I love about this season is that what we thought isn't always what happens. And so when we make preseason predictions, we look a little silly, we look a little crazy, and I'm here for it because that's what they're for. So number one, I would say the Boston Red Sox. Starting week 1, watching what they did up now until the All-Star break, I am amazed. I cannot believe that they are still competing. The injuries that they have sustained, the way that I thought their offseason was horrible. I thought I graded them a C or below. And now here they are in 3rd place in the American League East. They'd be in 1st place in other divisions with the record that they have. They're on pace to be an AL wildcard team. And I keep watching them, and I'm just, how in the world are they doing it? Alex Cora is a mastermind, and they've all bought in to what he wants to do. And they're doing it with less, because those fans were outraged at what the Red Sox have done the past couple of years, dismantling their superstars, sending them away, and then not adding anything back. And so I am wildly impressed and surprised they are still hanging around in the beast of the East. And then I would say, if we stay in the American League, the Houston Astros as well. I was there for spring training. The confidence was high. This is a team that knows how to win. They know how to play baseball late into the year, which is really important. It's an underestimated skill, in my opinion. A team that knows how to play deep into the season, what it takes to keep your body healthy. They were in last place a month into the season. They looked horrible. I didn't even know what the heck was going on with that ball club. And I'm feeling for Joe Espada in his first year as a manager. You have this wildly talented team. Brian Abreu, you have your whole bullpen, who was so good last year, underperforming. The starting staff is in cahoots. They don't know what the heck is going on. And in the last month, they and the Twins have been the best teams in all of baseball and made the most ground up. They're in 2nd place now in the American League West as it stands today. And they are also only 1 game back from the Seattle Mariners. And the Mariners they're striking out every time I blink my eyes. And so they're the 2 of the 3 teams. The Phillies in the National League East being the team there at the top right now. They're not giving it up. I don't see the Braves coming back to win it. So good for the Phillies to outkick what everybody thought would be another Braves division winner, and for them to be in that spot right now.
No doubt, one of the best teams in baseball all season long has been the Philadelphia Phillies. So a couple of weeks ago, a little over a month ago, I went out to Oakland for my first trip to the Oakland Coliseum for an A's game, because this is their final year in Oakland. We have a bunch of A's fans that watch this program because they've been so outspoken about their relocation. And it was an amazing experience because A's fans are not going to give up the fight. They refuse until that team is officially gone. They're not giving up the fight. But I wanted to ask you, what's the sense around baseball of this organization playing 3 full seasons in a minor league park in Sacramento? Because the heat wave out in Sacramento and California the last couple of weeks has been stifling. And next year, for the first 3 years, or the next 3 years rather, you're going to play outdoors in a minor league ballpark at 118-degree weather. They don't have a dome out there in that ballpark. So what's the sense in baseball about this idea?
You know what's funny, DA? I did the same thing last year. I realized
You
that
did?
I did. We were about to be talking a ton about Oakland and their fans in the Coliseum. And I said to myself, I can't keep talking about it and not go see it for myself. And so I went out there for a series against the Mariners. And I was so pleasantly surprised at what I found and how incredibly passionate and engaged and intelligent that fan base is, and how special that team is, and that they are in a place that isn't up to snuff, first of all, for the major league level to begin with at the Coliseum, as far as the clubhouse goes, and everything, all the resources that they have there. But the fact now that it resonates with me, because when I was in St. Louis and Stan Kroenke was slandering my city and took the Rams back to LA and made it sound like we were a horrible place to be. We were a horrible fan base. The city sucked, and that there was no way that a pro team should be there. So I completely understand how it feels, because my friends' lives on Sundays were going to those games and going with their families, or Mondays, whenever the game was. And so now to see this team in Oakland, and it's a group of guys who are so talented, by the way. Brent Rooker, Shea Langoliers, to name a couple of dudes on that team. Mason Miller, who is an all-star, we're going to see him. They don't deserve that. That's a really strange place to be, knowing how everybody feels. And now they're going to go and play at a minor league ballpark that also is not up to code, up to the standards that we should be holding in Major League Baseball. And they deserve better. I don't know if we're clamoring enough about it. I don't know if we're making a big enough deal about it, which is extremely concerning, because that's not just 1 year temporary home. That's a few years in a place that a major league team shouldn't be playing. No team should have to do that. Those guys are professionals, and they deserve much better than that.
Yeah, well said. And I'm glad that you had the same observation and experience that I did. You know, we've been fed this kind of narrative that nobody in Oakland cares, and that's why they got to move, and that's why there's not a lot of people at the games. What you realize is, oh, no. They're super passionate, and there's a lot of fans that really care. They've just been basically told, stay away. We don't want you around here. And they've spun the narrative that nobody cares. So it's an interesting comp that the same thing happened to the St. Louis Rams. Oh, nobody comes, ballpark outdated, stadium outdated. We got to move the team. And you lived it saying, no, that's not the reality.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts your feelings. You're like, I'm so proud to be from St. Louis, right? I grew up in St. Louis. I went to Mizzou. I grew up going to games. I grew up with the Cardinals and the Rams and the Blues. And that's what you do when you're in St. Louis. You're a sports fan, and you feel those emotions from those teams. And those are the things you do with your family and your friends, and how you spend your time. And for someone to come in and basically turn everybody else, they're trying to turn everyone against you and make it feel like you don't deserve to have those teams, and that your city's not good enough and your fans aren't good enough. Like, you take that personally. And a lot of my friends did, and it hurts. And so I understand what those fans feel and what they're going through. Because as a person, first of all, you're spending a ton of money, right? A lot of your resources and your time go into being a fan. And so you don't ever deserve to have somebody tell you that you're not a good enough fan or a good enough place to have a pro team there, and that your fandom isn't worth it. So we're going to remove the team and take them somewhere else where the fans will appreciate them. And so, yeah, I couldn't understand more what they've been through.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we let you go, you got tonight's draft, and I mean, you look phenomenal, but also you got incredible earrings as well, right? Can we get a shot of these earrings that you got on? Because these are epic.
Okay. All right.
So those are cowboy boots, I guess, cowgirl boots in your situation, and it says, is it "Hey y'all"?
It says "Yeehaw."
Yeehaw! Yee on one, haw on the other. Because you guys are hosting this at a former rodeo or a current rodeo place.
Cowtown. We'll be at Cowtown. It is a rodeo. There's dirt, DA, on the floor where people will be sitting on the floor of the draft. So I felt like it was time to lean in a little bit. I'm a Midwest girl, but I'm in the heart of Texas. And so I needed to yeehaw my way into the draft night.
Yeehaw my way into Cowtown for the Major League Baseball draft. Look at this. This is incredible. So are they going to have like livestock and rodeo there tomorrow? Or is this like they've set for all of All-Star Weekend, they've cleared the deck for you guys?
I am unsure of those exact details, but I do know, I saw pictures and video of it. It's giving basketball auditorium meets rodeo baseball. And so it's like there's bleachers and there's seats and there's stands, and then the whole floor is all dirt, and all of the chairs are there. All of, all the teams, they have their flags. We have our Sirius XM little booth. You can see where MLB Network will be, every ESPN, everyone will be there. But there's literal dirt on the floor. I also chose to wear, I have white heels, so that might be a mistake, but we're going to go with it. We're just going to lean in, DA. We're leaning in.
I love it. You're always game for anything, so it does not surprise me that you are leaning into this as well. We'll call your look rodeo chic. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely.
Check out the Major League Baseball draft on MLB Network and, of course, MLB Network Radio with Dani Wexelman and company tonight. Dani, you're the best. Thank you so much. We love our visits on Sirius XM, so good to have you here on the Sunday show as well.
Thanks for having me, DA. Anytime.
I always wanted the Sunday show to really have the truest essence of the DA show DNA. And that is guests, frequent guests who are FODAs, friends of DA, that just kind of come in and out and just always are down for fun. Always down. They've got smart information and they've got a good sense of humor. And Dani checks that box a million times over. And it looks like, just judging from some of the comments that I've seen in Q&DA, that you guys really enjoy Dani as well. And she's awesome. She's just like, I feel like Dani is one of those. She just gets it with our crew. She gets with our listeners. She just kind of like, that's our type of friend of the show. So once I asked her if she wanted to come on this weekend, because she was in studio with us on Sirius XM earlier in the week, I was like, hey, would you come on the Sunday show? She's like, absolutely. No questions asked. And she has draft coverage. I said, hey, if you got draft stuff and you're busy, we can do a different time. No way. I want to do it. Let's do it. I love it. I said, great, let's do it. So that is really great that she joined us on the show, and give her a follow on social media at Dani Wex. And she's really fun. And she's always down for a good time on the radio and here on the digital mothership as well, which is awesome. All right. It is time to kick back into the Furious Five. And I am really excited about number 4 here because, my friends at Last Dive Bar, Brian of the gang, they're so tight with this show. They're tight with the audience. They're tight with me. My trip out to Oakland, I knew they were great guys, but when I got out to Oakland and the way that they treated me, I realized these guys had the heart of gold and their ride or dies, and I'm there for them no matter what. Well, Brian sent me something this week. He goes, hey, we're working on something. I said, uh-oh. I know you're kind, and working on something means this is diabolical. He says, you're going to love it. So he sent me an early version of it. And I said, dude, this is so freaking funny that if you lift the wall on this, then I want to play it on the Sunday show. He's like, you got it. When we have it finalized, you got it, play it. So I told Aidan about this. I said, hey, I got a video that I want to play here. It's about 2 minutes long. Maybe we'll cut it down. I don't know what Aidan did. If you want to play the whole thing, dude, rock it, because I watched it again today and I was howling laughing. The people in Oakland that are working on A, keeping the A's in Oakland, and B, shaming Fisher and Cavill and the A's for leaving are much smarter than the A's organization. They're much more savvy, because wait till you see this. Okay. This is from Melody Roberts of 33 Customs, made these puppets. And the Todd father, who I got to meet out in Oakland as well, who's tight with the Last Dive Bar, etc., he was right there by my side. He ended up making the video. I just want to play for you here, okay, this video. This is Dave Cavill, the president of the A's, John Fisher, the owner of the A's, as two Muppets singing about Sesame Street. Aidan, let it rip.
Jokes on the pond have slipped away, 'cause I hit into a triple play. I tell John it's all A-OK, even though my plans were DOA. Can you tell me how to get a stadium complete?
Dave got me a cash giveaway. Thank you, LVCVA. Yes, I can afford it per se, but I need somebody else to pay. Can you tell me how to get a ballpark for free?
We are after a free ride. And even though we're dead inside, we claim to have feelings too. But it isn't true. Lying's what we do. Every day we scared investors away, pretending that we would pay, but everything's in disarray. Can't you tell me how to get to an easier street?
Oh my goodness. I mean, come on. Come on. This is so good. This is so good. This is so good. So the Last Dive Bar now has those Sesame Street t-shirts. I mean, how great is this? So you can go to lastdivebar.com and use our code MOTHERSHIP and get 15% off your order. They are, of course, our signature sponsors here on the show. They are OG supporters of Watch DA Live, so we love them like brothers. And that video... So Brian sent me this video earlier in the week, and it was during AJ's nap time. Usually goes down around 11 o'clock, and then he's down for about 2 hours. He only takes one nap a day. That's it. All right. AJ wants to be up. He's got things to do, people to see. He's got puffs to eat. All right. And blocks to throw down, so there's not a lot of time for sleep here. So during this time, I got to make sure I'm quiet because we had a home show that day. And I'm in the kitchen stifling my laughter because I'm cracking up. I mean, cracking up. It's just so smart and so funny. And the end where they're making out is so perfect. So big thumbs up. I mean, Melody at 33 Customs just does amazing work. And, as you see, the editing from the Todd Father and the Last Dive Bar tie-in, the graphics, everything like that, the t-shirts. God bless. You guys are the best. And I'm so happy that you're part of the show because you guys make us better. And I know the audience loves it as well. So that was really good. Really good. Really good. So that's number 4. All right. With that being said, it's time to remind you the Last Dive Bar has really cool stuff. And their title signature sponsors here on the show. And you can go to their website, lastdivebar.com, use that code 15% off with code MOTHERSHIP. And they have created these new pins. Check these out. These products are awesome. If you're a pin collector, how can you beat the iconic sell flag that's going on right now? It's all across the Bay Area trying to get John Fisher to sell. It is a symbol of the resistance right now for A's fans and baseball fans and people that just care about what's right. And so that's such a cool pin. You see the flowers outside, the Coliseum. That's an awesome pin as well. And then the Last Dive Bar pin of the Oakland Coliseum. That's the icon that I had on my T-shirt when I went out there and wore it to the game. And then the hoodie as well. I love that design, that logo that they have. And then, of course, they also have the Jumbotron graphics of Too Legit to Quit, which was a staple of some of the A's glory years up there to teach everybody. Look at that with sign language, Too Legit to Quit. Which I'm not sure if that's official sign language. I'd have to ask Hammer that specifically. But I think that T-shirt's awesome. In fact, I wore that T-shirt this week when I went over to the post office in my social media video on Instagram, sending out the winners from last week, the last 2 weeks actually. And a couple of my followers, including one of my really close friends, Adam Kaufman up in Boston, is like, dude, that T-shirt, I really need that T-shirt. I said, I wish I had more to give away, but we've given away a slew of them. So use the code Mothership, 15% off. So they are available right now. I might have one more to give away tonight, to be honest with you. I got t-shirts to give away. I think I might have another Too Legit to Quit one, but we went on a run giving those away last week, but they're awesome. And so use the code Mothership for 15% off. And look what they got. They got these pint glasses. He sent me a couple of these. So we're going to give away one of the pint glasses tonight of Last Dive Bar for one of the Q&DAs. Okay, so get your comments in right now. Just water tonight. Just water. No, really, it's just what. Why don't you believe me? It's just water. Okay. All right. So that being said, this has now gotten us on a creative kick here. Okay. I had a friend of mine send me a video this week celebrating a birthday. Well, not exactly, because it was a cover of 50 Cent in the Club. Okay. And I saw this video and I said, I need to incorporate that some way into this show. Sunday show needs to have this. Okay. So, Aidan, why don't we play this once? Okay. Once for the audience, and then we'll use it to celebrate some birthdays. Here you go.
Go, 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 shawty. It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fucking at the birthday.
So, time for some birthdays. How about Conor McGregor, who turns 36 years old today, July 14th, 36-year-old Conor McGregor. Is he fighting anymore? Is he in the fight game anymore? Is he just an actor? There's a guy that leveraged his brief moments of fame of getting his schnoz smashed in and then also devastating some others with his punches and knew, I don't want to have my face broken constantly. Let me pivot here and use this moment to be famous. And he did. So congratulations. Hey, Conor McGregor, happy birthday.
Go, 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 go. Go, 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 shawty. It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fucking at the birthday.
You're not your birthday. Also, Robin Ventura. How about that? Robin Ventura turns the ripe old age of 57 today, also a July 14th birthday. And it's amazing because Robin Ventura was a 6-time Gold Glover. He was a 2-time All-Star as well. Robin Ventura has one of the most famous hits in Mets history. That's the walk-off Grand Slam single, if you'll remember, beating the Braves in the 1999 NLCS on a rainy night at extra innings at Shea Stadium in the NLCS. Ultimately, the Braves won the NLCS, but that was an iconic shot, bases loaded, extra innings, and he hits it over the wall, but only one run scores. So it would have been a grand slam, but didn't need it. So they called it the Grand Slam single. But remember, I mean, Robin Ventura, best known not for his Gold Gloves, his All-Star games, or his home runs, best remembered for getting his head pounded by 45-year-old Nolan Ryan. And so, Robin Ventura, happy birthday!
Go, 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 go. Go, 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 shawty. It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fucking at the birthday.
I guess I was laughing a lot this week because this one I must have played 15 times in a row. My wife comes to the Bourbon Bell. She's like, boy, you really like that video, huh? I go, it's amazing. Have you heard it? She goes, yeah, I've heard it a million times. You keep playing it. I'm like, it's great. I keep playing it because it's great. I keep playing it because it's really great. It's not your birthday. So there you go. Okay, we are through the Furious 5, okay? And now it's time for a rendition of Q&DA. Oh, you know what? Yeah, should we do? No, Golden Grams first, Aidan. Wouldn't you say Golden Grams first? You tell me. I think GG should be first here. What do you think?
I would say that too, because we had an amazing lineup pre-show, during the show, of our most loyal D-aliens checking in, saying hello. And I didn't tell you this, DA, but I got an email about where was it? 6:24 p.m. Eastern time. Okay.
Okay.
And this comes from Craig, who we gifted a shirt to a couple weeks ago. And I'm
Nice.
going to pull this graphic, and his entire email doesn't fit in the whole thing, but I want to give it its justice because Craig sent us this badass picture. First of all, he's a huge fan of LeBlanc Blues, which you love.
Love him.
And he wrote that, quote, "Now that I have received my last dive bar merchandise, I feel after today's Phillies game against the A's, I can put it to good use."
Nice.
3 loss at home. Come on now. I think someone started the All-Star break a bit early. Anyway, I recently had a doctor's appointment. He suggested that I substitute beer carbs for whiskey carbs, or bourbon in his case.
Wow.
Since most whiskeys have very few carbs. So I'm on a quest to find a bourbon I really enjoy. This is your kind of person.
Yes.
So many A's fans have gone down this road in the last 2 decades being under the ownership cluster F that they have endured. I feel for all of you. I raised my blue light, and tonight a bullet shot to all you Oakland A's fans.
All right, Craig. Nice job, brother. Nice job. That is awesome, man. That is awesome. I love it. And that's a good doctor. If he says, hey, we got to get you on the healthy side. Can you just remove beer and insert whiskey or bourbon? I like that as a swap. If I had to make a swap, I would do the same thing. Nice job. Look, he's got the sticker "We Are Here" in there. He's got his Labatt Blue Light. Love it. And then he's also got his T-shirt on. Very, very cool, man. Craig, nice job. Love it. All right, next up, what do we got?
Great job by Craig. Next, I also got a DM during the middle of the week from Matthew Wilson, who got his 2 legit in the mail. He's a fellow Massachusetts guy as well, so he loves to talk his crap about the Red Sox, to me at least, over DM. So, hey, if you listen to Danny's interview, she's hot on them, and Matt should be as well. But he got his 2 legit to quit shirt. Thank you, Matt. We also got plenty more checking in throughout the night. But those are 2 that I actually got pre-show. But during the show, we also checked in with Kristen in Buffalo, who made a damn good rye Manhattan. How does that look?
Ooh, boy, I tell you, Kristen, she's I nicknamed her Gal Fieri. She is the cook extraordinaire here on the show, and my long-term goal is to have a massive Watch DA live party, a massive party, someplace where all of us get together on a Sunday night, and I would want Kristen to be either our cook or our chef extraordinaire or our bartender, because she always makes amazing things, and that looks awesome. A rye Manhattan on a Sunday night watching the show. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but it impresses me nonetheless. Great job by Kristen in Buffalo. Absolutely love that.
Great job, Kristen. And I guess that we're growing in our whiskey fan base as well, because we have the bracket bash. We got Kristen making rye Manhattans now. We got Craig, who's doctor is telling him to convert to whiskey. It's coming up roses for you, DA.
That's awesome.
Next, let's go to Dakota, avid FJF fanboy. He tweets, "Love that the Boo Birds are out during the MLB Draft." He's got 2 screens up. He's watching Watch DA Live and he's watching the draft.
Yes.
Man took the stage to some Boo Birds.
Hashtag
F John Fisher, hashtag F Rod Manfred.
Right on. I find Rob Manfred to be so much more unlikable than any of the other 3 commissioners that traditionally get booed. I mean, Goodell gets booed. Silver sometimes gets booed. Bettman always gets booed. But nobody is, to me, more unlikable than Rob Manfred. I find him to be completely tone deaf. Even when baseball does things well, he seems to be griping about something else. There's never a happy moment with him. It's always sky is falling, this is terrible, or he's just lying. And what has been allowed to happen and transpire in Oakland is nothing short of criminal, and he's overseeing it. I'm sorry, this is a stain on his entire career, no matter what happens as a commissioner in baseball. So I'm glad that he was getting booed. Obviously, we were on the air, so we didn't see it, but great job, Dakota, documenting that. And the 2-screen effort is a strong effort. On a Sunday night, you got to have one on Watch DA Live, one on whatever you're watching on TV. That's the way to do it. It's all good in the hood. I love that as well.
Absolutely. And I got 2 more Golden Grants before we get to some winners in Q&DA. Our loyal fan and friend, Moist Pork, chopped it up saying, Booskies, what does one tell his 7-year-old daughter when she sees the urinal t-shirt and says, "What's that picture, Daddy?" I just looked at her and said, "Don't worry about it," and walked away. That seemed like the correct response.
That's probably, the right response. I mean, I guess you could say these are in men's restrooms, or these used to be in men's restrooms, and then none of the rest of it has to be explained. But you could also say this is a symbol of sports in a bygone era. This is a golden moment of sports history here, honey. This is the way that baseball fans used to have to use the restrooms. They were long form farm tracts, basically, and we were livestock, and that was the way that it was. And as Dana Carvey might say, and we liked it. We used to go to the bathroom inside a big, long piece of aluminum. We got to see other people's Johnsons right next to us. And we liked it that way.
That's great. And Pete the Body Bilotti is laughing. So
yeah.
And finally, this isn't really I guess it's a golden gram, but it's a nice transition to Q&DA and the comments that we've got in our beautiful section to start the night. But this is from Timbo Slice, who made this meme to show how much he's a fan of the show. I don't even know what to say.
Well, Timbo Slice is a hardcore to the nth degree. Okay, back in Boston, we used to call him Hadcores, and Timbo Slice will DM me in the middle of the night routinely, and I am not looking at my DMs in the middle of the night, and he will just keep DMing me. And I will wake up to 6 DMs. And I think there's a lot of D-aliens who have gone through the same experience. And sometimes he just sends graphics.
Oh, yeah.
Just earlier this morning, he sent me this, and he's like, "Remember when I made this?" And I was like, "I do. And I'm going to use that on the show. This is awesome." This was when Mraz won his flag football championship. And he was awarded the trophy to keep it home, I guess, for the day, kind of like the Stanley Cup. Everybody on the team gets it for a day. And his wife, Danielle, was so excited about Big Boy and his athletic achievement. She said, "Take off your shirt, Big Boy, and pose with that." And got him to lay down on the bed as he wore his hat sideways, his championship trophy. I thought it was disgusting, but Mraz was very, very, very proud of this. And his wife was apparently very excited about it. So that's my face on Mraz's body, and that's what's going to keep happening if I keep eating pasta at the same rate that I do now. So there you go. That's a look into the future.
It's a very close look as well, but some would argue too close to Johnson, as you said, in the urinal trough. That I don't want to see that figure next to me in the urinal trough.
Yeah, there's no question. No question.
But let's get to our Q&DAs, as we mentioned.
All right. Yeah.
And this might be a record. Before the show started at 4:05 p.m. Eastern time, Last Dive Bar, they're not a winner, but Last Dive Bar commented, "Has the show started yet? Hello, this thing on? We're on the mothership already screaming FJF out the window." The winner is Largent, who was right in the comment section with them at 5:33.
Oh my God.
90 minutes to go. So Largent, you're a winner because you're in our comment section 90 minutes before the show starts. So
oh my goodness. All right. Largent, well done. Well, Brian and the guys from Last Dive Bar are obviously their ride or dies, as we mentioned before. So they're already hanging out in the comment section hours before the show. That's amazing. Logged in. But Largent is there to police it. He's there as security detail saying, no, actually, 90 minutes to go. You can sit over there, get a cold glass of water. Refreshments are around there. The urinals for Watch Day Live are down that hallway over there. Some stale popcorn over there. Yeah, that's right. So Largent, well done. So we're going to give Largent a T-shirt, right?
Correct. So Largent, since you're listening on YouTube, email watchdalive@gmail.com, and we've got you covered.
There you go. watchdalive@gmail.com. Send us your info, and we will get that shirt out to you this week. I'm making a few runs to the post office to get all these winners out as quickly as possible because I know that a lot of you guys want to wear T-shirts and drink out of pint glasses and mugs and stuff like that for the summer. So trying to get some stuff out the door for you guys.
And just as an interlude, because you mentioned our good friend Brian, his shipment to my lovely apartment came in this week as a late birthday gift. Brian, thank you. I have a couple that I'm bringing on vacation with me, and I'm going to rep Last Dive Bar as much as I can. So thank you.
Right on.
And that's just, like you said, the kind of people that we have listening and watching every single week with us. All right, next commenter, also on YouTube, a loyal friend of the show, Spencer, who you're going to read this and it's going to say the Stern and Sterner show on the new UBS Sports Radio Network. That's because, and I know you might not have time to watch every single comment that comes in because you're the host of the show, but our thumbnail that we put together every single week, hey, Dani Wexelman's coming on, Anya Zova's coming on. The picture that we have of you, Timbo Slice, Moist Pork, a lot of our loyal fans all think that you kind of look like a distant uncle of Jack Stern in this picture that we're using. And I'll throw it up again. And on the top right, it'll say, thank you for watching. So some people think I'm just delivering the news. I'm just a messenger. But Spencer, you're a winner because this is a real thought starter.
No. I mean, people think that in that picture I look like the elder Jack Stern. Is that what that's what I'm hearing? And you know what? And I thought you guys were my friends. I thought all of you guys were my friends. And now I know. Now I know how you really feel about me. That's not right. That's not right. So the Stern and Sterner, that actually does have a little bit of a ring to it. That might be able to go places. Yeah. I just correct him on pronunciations, and that's the entire segment right there.
I was gonna say you definitely were sterner on him than most at the UBS Sports Radio Network. And I'm not sure if UBS is also. I want to give the creativity points to Spencer if he meant to do this or if it's just a typo. But UBS Sports Radio Network, is that a hat tip to Peter Schwartz and his love for UBS Arena?
I don't know.
World may never know.
Wait, but everything's in play with these people. I mean, the DA leads, everything is in play. It might be a typo, it might be a fat finger, it might be keyboard chicken, or it might be a very subtle shot at a reference from 17 years ago. You just never know.
It really is. The lexicon goes deep with our listeners, and they keep us in check. And speaking of keeping us in check, the number one winner of the night I'll get to, and it involves a call to action, as we say in the marketing space, and that's why they're keeping us honest. But before that, the penultimate winner, Nick and Wisco on Twitter chiming in. First time I've gotten the chance to catch this live. Perfect for a lazy Sunday. He actually has made the effort to switch from X to YouTube. He's doing multiple screens, multiple phones. I don't know what, but he's making the effort to listen. So Nick, you're a winner, and email watchDayLive@gmail.com because we're going to get you hooked up.
Very cool. Yeah, Nick and Wisco is he's a diehard DA lead as well. Hardcore, as we like to say. He's been with me for a long, long time. I think probably since the overnight days on CBS. So that's awesome. The Nick and Wisco's now hanging out with us in the YouTube chat section on Sundays. And that's exactly it. Like, he hits it. It's perfect for a lazy Sunday. This is purposefully late in the evening to get you kind of wrapped up for your weekend. And it's going to be perfect for football season. We are so stoked. We're starting to have conversations about football season, football coverage. We're going to do this, obviously, right through the year. So Sunday night, starting at 7 o'clock, we might delay a little bit just as a heads up until maybe the big national game wraps up on a Sunday. We'll see how it kind of times out. But what we want to do is use Sunday in this space, 7 o'clock, this hour block into the 8 o'clock hour Eastern time after football, before Sunday night football, to break down the weekend of football. So if you think this is a nice, great, lazy Sunday in the summer, it's going to be even more perfect wrapping up your Sunday of football action before Sunday night football, so you can have some dinner, have this on your second screen or whatever. And the summer, it's a perfect lazy Sunday thing. So Nick, appreciate you being with us. The last three are the winners of the Last Dive Bar t-shirts that we will give away this week, which is awesome. And now it is time to give away a Last Dive Bar pint glass as well. By the way, all this stuff that we're giving away, available at lastdivebar.com. Use code MOTHERSHIP for 15% off. All right. Who's getting the pint glass, Aidan?
That would be Mr. Ben Bozo. He asked, can we get DA to flip his beautiful locks around too, just like Dani Wexelman? Can you do it?
I think Dani, now the D-Aliens would know this better than me. She might have had the best hair ever in DA show history. I'm talking about radio or watch DA. I mean, it's so long. It was so like, it was done up. It was like really amazing hair. I don't know. It jumped out. Maybe because she was looking down at the screen. It was like, wow, that's amazing hair. So yeah, we should kind of like have a Dani Wexelman hair of the week or hair of the month or hair of the year award or something like that. I will try to flip it, but I don't quite think it flips quite like hers. Hers like twists down like Rapunzel. But yeah, there you go. It's amazing. If I don't cut my hair, then it just ends up kind of like growing out. You see, it's starting to do this to the side. It'll just start growing out and getting really like off kilter. And I have a picture or two that before I got it cut during pandemic, it started to get really wacky. So I can dig some of those up and let it happen. But there you go. That's a pretty good. It's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like there you go. That's kind of like a Conan O'Brien flip flop. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like the same person.
There you go. That's the flip.
There we go. I hope that lived up to snuff, Ben. All the winners, email watchDAlive@gmail.com. We've got you hooked up. And that'll do it for me, DA.
All right. Nice job, everybody. Ben Bozo, congratulations. You get yourself a nice Last Dive Bar pint glass if you want one of those and you didn't win one. Go to lastdivebar.com. All right. As we do every week, we get out of here with a sports zen moment. And Robin Ventura turns 57 years old today. And so I was thinking, it just takes me back to 1993 when Nolan Ryan served him a knuckle sandwich. If you want the background on this, back in the early 90s, the White Sox and the Rangers had an intense rivalry. And this was because they were AL West counterparts. Yeah, way back when the White Sox were in the West. And there was a bunch of brawls between them. There were a bunch of beatings between them. And early in this game, actually, I think there was a benches clearing brawl the night before. And in this game, Robin Ventura had an early RBI single off of Nolan Ryan. Nolan wanted to send a message, and he plunked Robin Ventura in the back. And Ventura was like, "That's it. I'm running. I'm fighting." And I think both teams were on edge, ready because of what happened the night before. Well, Robin Ventura, who is 20 years younger than Nolan Ryan, obviously thought he was going to take down the old man. And Robin Ventura got himself tied up into something that he will never live down. This is now his most famous moment. This is a 45-year-old Nolan Ryan absolutely pounding Robin Ventura in the head, gets 3 punches to the skull, top of the head. And how about this? I didn't know this, but this mural is in downtown Dallas. How amazing is this mural? As I was doing some research to find the best photo of Nolan on Robin Ventura, I found that there was a local artist in Dallas that did that mural. How cool is that? And so that to me just brought the whole thing home. I just love this moment of baseball history. That was a rough and tumble era and not a lot of niceties. And there was Nolan Ryan in his mid-40s still doling out punishment. And it's just such an iconic moment of the old guy that will not back down. And I kind of feel bad for Robin Ventura because, everywhere he goes, he's asked about that. And it's like guys get into brawls all the time. Guys charge the mound or used to all the time because he's the one that got his ass kicked by a 45-year-old. That's the only thing that ever matters in his Major League Baseball career. So how about that sports zen moment? Just let that wash over you. An awesome mural in downtown Dallas. Then also just the actual photo of Nolan Ryan taking the kid behind the woodshed. How awesome is that, right? That is great. So we leave you on that note, everybody. Thanks so much for watching another episode of Watch DA Live. We do this every single Sunday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific. Thanks to our sponsors, The Last Dive Bar. They are amazing. They help us make this thing go. And thanks to executive producer Aidan Hatton, a.k.a. the Marquette Marvel, for putting this whole thing together as well. He works his butt off throughout the week. Also, our associate producer, Ethan Frank, who helps us with our video content and social media content as well. He's amazing. And Dani Wexelman, of course, for joining us from MLB Network Radio tonight. If you want more information about this, this entire project, this entire show, go to the website, watchdalive.com, or email us, watchdalive@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us and get information about the show. And if you enjoy the show, spread it to others. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell others that might need a good laugh or a lazy Sunday or want to win cool stuff or just be one with a family of good people. Come here, because this is where good people congregate on Sunday night. So tell your friends about Watch DA Live on Sunday nights for free on YouTube or Twitter. And it's always archived on YouTube as well, so you don't have to catch it live. You can watch it anytime during the week to catch up on things and old episodes as well. All right, that'll do it for me. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm DA. Be good and be good to one another. Happy Sunday night. I'll see you Tuesday morning on Sirius XM. I'm off tomorrow. I'm on AJ duty. Bourbon Bell is out of town on work, so I got to take care of him the rest of the day, all day tomorrow. So I will see you Tuesday morning on Sirius XM. Until then, I'm DA and the Mothership.